when you can recite the changes on one specific cable channel, you have been here way too long. Good morning and welcome to Nature Watch. Nature Watch is sponsored by Wedel's Nursery, Floral Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. And now your host of Nature Watch. He may be here forever too, who knows? Gary Miller, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. Frosty morning out there.
Oh, yes, it is.
I had to scrape the truck window a little bit this morning.
I did as well, and I'm very happy to do that because I'm going to tell you, this last week, the allergies with the leaves falling, I have been in serious issues. Gosh, this is my worst year in a long time.
Actually, I wasn't too bad this last week. So usually the fall stuff doesn't bother me too much, but
this time
I'm not going to win on that one because
this time of year, yeah. And the more freezing ground we have, the better it turns out for me. And once the leaves are all up, then and raked up, then life is good. I won't touch my allergy meds for 3 months, maybe 4. Maybe.
Unless you play the allergy card and say you're allergic to shoveling snow or something.
Oh, I've been allergic to shoveling snow. Where you been, dude? I'm telling you.
So, actually this last week we went from, gosh, it's almost getting close to peak color to, it was peak color and then we had wind and some rain, a little bit of rain, and it knocked a lot of leaves down.
Yeah.
Real quick.
But here's the thing. That's not a lot of rain.
No, we did not have a lot of rain. I had 3/10.
That's nowhere near what we need.
And
not
no, we're I think still either at or over 4 inches shy of what we should have.
Right. Now Halloween chance of rain.
Well, of course.
November 1st chance of rain. 70s next week, and then temperatures fall to not bad levels. Not bad.
But we're still on that warm side, really.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, we don't have any big cold coming. Earlier this week, I know they had snow out in the Rockies in some spots, and go into northern Canada, they've got snow on the forecast last night and today. Mm-hmm. So getting some of that cold weather is coming eventually.
Right. Looking ahead, tomorrow 61, sunny. Monday 64, mix of sun and clouds. 78 Tuesday, 79 Wednesday. Then we fall back to the 50s and even maybe the upper 40s, but that's where we should be. That's fine. Now there's not a lot of moisture. That's the problem. Actually, Thursday, Halloween, it's the only shot of rain until November 6th.
But that'd be typical for Halloween. Halloween seems like it's always like in that either really, really warm, so you sweat in the costume, or it's cold and drizzly rainy. It's
like when University of Akron comes to town to play football, they bring horrible weather. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
So what's new, my friend?
Oh, well, still seeing a lot of activity out there. Mostly some of the birds are sort of staying around here for the winter. A few migrating birds going through yet, but not a whole lot. I actually saw those 2 trumpeter swans. I'm assuming it's the same pair this last week again in the same field near my house. So I'm guessing they're probably just going to select that sort of overwinter in the area. Mm-hmm. Time will tell. And actually I've seen lots of Canada geese and sandhill cranes still. It was actually interesting. Several mornings going by States Golf Course between Vicksburg and Schoolcraft, and on the westerly side of the course, there were masses of sandhill cranes out there in the morning, and it was actually fun to see. Not too far from there, and actually in a house, there was actually a big flock several mornings around the house, in their yard, in their backyard, in the little small field around them. Several hundred sandhill cranes. I'm imagining it was probably a little noisy in the morning there. And oddly enough, earlier in the week, I saw a flock of crows in a field. And it was significant because I'm going to guess there were probably 50 plus or minus crows in that flock. So it was a pretty good sized flock. And I know they're crows, or pretty sure they're crows, because ravens typically don't migrate or even fly in flocks, usually just a couple pair. Occasionally when the younger ravens, if they're going to migrate a little bit, but these birds were small enough, I'm pretty sure they were crows. And they're out in the field far enough, I could see the black spots. So I know they were too small for vultures.
That's all we see: crows, blackbirds. That's.
And there's some crows that stay around here, but there's some that migrate too. They're one of those species of birds that some of them stick around, some of them migrate, and they just let you know that they're around when you're outside. and they start cawing away.
Well, it's obvious I haven't migrated anywhere if I'm recalling past sports. 269-382-4280. If you have a question concerning nature for Gary, you can also text it to us at 80373. But now you want to call because we are doing our weekly trivia.
Yes.
For a $20 gift card to Wedel's, Gary is going to challenge you to Google yourself happy.
Oh, this one's probably going to be an easy one to find.
No, you never do easy.
Yes, occasionally I throw one out there. This is sort of an obvious one, I think, but I'm just going to come. People are going to find the answer, I think, relatively fast. So, my trivia question today is, what is the fastest animal in the world?
Wow.
So
I have an idea, but I'm keeping my big fat mouth shut.
And I'm going to actually give a little hint here. It's something that's actually you can see here in Michigan occasionally.
269-382-4280. Fastest
animal in the world.
Fastest animal in the world. Now, to clarify, is it the land animal?
That's what you have to find out.
Okay. So
I'm not going to hint that one yet. Give that hint out yet.
Now,
and it's not at a zoo. Well, you might see them at a zoo, but typically, you can see them out in the wild.
I want you folks to keep in mind as you're calling in that I am a one-man operation today. So, especially with the trivia, I just kind of get lucky and go straight to the phone. And hopefully, you don't say anything that you shouldn't be saying on the radio. Good morning. Who's this?
My name is Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi.
You want to take a shot at this? Fastest animal.
Animal.
It could be a land animal. It could fly. It could do, I don't know, magic.
Okay, so if it can fly, the peregrine falcon?
Oh, that is the correct answer. See, I told you Jim was going to be an easy one.
Wow.
But that's actually interesting.
My first thing came to my mind was the cheetah, but...
Well, that's why I left it. I actually left it sort of nebulous because I knew if I said bird, everybody would get that right away. So I'm going to make it. Actually, it is the fastest animal.
Wow.
And they actually can move very rapidly. Sometimes it's called stooping, but when they drop and tuck their wings in and go after prey, something that they're trying to catch, they've calculated that they do over 200 miles per hour, as much as almost 240 miles an hour. Now, think about that. A bird with feathers on going 240 miles an hour.
Any faster, you might get a sonic boom.
Might. And actually, peregrine falcons are one of the most widespread birds in the world. They're on every continent except Antarctica. There's a few Pacific islands they're not on either. But so actually interesting. They're a worldwide bird.
Hey, look at that falcon zoom. Okay, gone.
Yeah, so that's on their swoop or their dive going after prey. They've taken birds as big as sandhill cranes. So think about that, a falcon taking a sandhill crane out. Though I guess if you hit another bird at 240 miles an hour, plus or minus, they're probably goners.
There'd be much left.
See, it's only ironic. I was listening to an interview with Randy Johnson the other day. He of the hitting the bird fame in spring training with a fastball. Yes. Just saying. Lori, right?
Yes.
Okay, Lori, hang on the line. I do have a $20 gift card for you. If you want to hold on, I'll get some information and send it out to you.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, hold on the line right there. And more Nature Watch on the way next. Your phone calls, your texts, your questions for Gary here on WKZO.
Quiz me today.
Quiz him. Do it, please.
The best time of year for planting is here, and Wedel's Nursery Florist and Garden Center is stocked with all your favorite plants. Fall is the best time to plant trees, perennials, and evergreens because it gives plants time to establish before the hot summer weather next year. An autumn landscape wouldn't be complete without a bright-colored maple tree. This week, choose from several sizes of maple trees, which are 50% off. Now is also the perfect time to plant a natural green screen. Several Wedel-grown, fresh-dug evergreen varieties are also 50% off this week. Talk to Wedel's plant experts about which evergreens would work best for your landscape on sizes from 2 feet all the way up to 11 feet tall. You can also save 40% on several of your favorite perennials, including Rudbeckia, hostas, lilies, gaillardia, and more than 100 others. Fall is for planting, and who knows planting better than Wedel's Nursery Florist and Garden Center on Texas Drive at the corner of Millam and 12th Street.
Kalamazoo's newsmakers check in here.
Governors that are going to.
Police officers at the intersection.
Kalamazoo Mornings with Ken Lanphier on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.
As we roll on Nature Watch, Saturday morning, 8:42. Gary Miller over there. I'm Jim.
Good morning again.
Good morning again. Phone call coming in, so just keep ringing. I will go and get it because, again, I am a one-man show around here today.
So a couple events coming up. I actually mentioned this because it's the last one of the season as far as in-person public observing session at the Nature Center, Kalamazoo Nature Center tonight with the Kalamazoo Astronomical Society starting at 7 p.m. at 7 to 10. Last chance out in person. They have some Zoom connections for later in the going over the winter months. You can check out their website. But tonight's feature they're going to talk about galaxies of autumn. And it looks like the forecast is going to be really good for most of that. Might not get cloudy until towards the end of that session. Really big thing coming up next weekend. Wedel's has their Wild Bird event. And this is a fantastic event to get the kids out to, both Friday and Saturday. We're going to have some wild birds from Michigan Avian Experience, and they are a group that actually rehabs or recovers injured, primarily birds of prey.
Oh.
And sometimes they try to rehabilitate them if they can and re-release them in the wild. If they can't, they use them for educational purposes. And they're going to be out at Wedel's on Friday from 4:30 to 5:30 and on Saturday from 11:30 to 1:30. There's also going to be some crafts available for the kids to make. And on top of that, for the older kids like me, we have some fantastic sales going on bird seed, bird feeders. So if you need that new feeder or need another feeder, now's a great time to get that, great time to take advantage of those bird feed sales, because most of the bird feed and suet cakes will store that. So if you don't have room to store it, and we have storage containers there if you have room to store, but if you don't have room to store all that seed at that fantastic price, it's a great opportunity.
Okay.
And just ask that you get that out by the 1st of March at the latest.
Right.
Just talk to one of our staff there. So fantastic. Got lots of birds. Still seeing lots of bird activity, and they still have access to seed and that, on flowers and plants. But start getting that feeder ready if you haven't put it out there yet. People are doing cleanup right now. If you don't clean up the entire yard, you can clean up part of it. But you always want to leave some spot where you've got a mass of leaves out there so those beneficial insects have some place to overwinter. So maybe leave a little spot in one of those landscape beds or in the corner of the yard that you've got a place for those invertebrates and primarily the beneficial insects. They actually overwinter in that insulated foliage and leaves that have died back. So make a nice little pile for them. Wait to move that and clean that up in the spring until it gets over 45, 50 degrees for about a week.
Okay. If you have any questions about bird feeders and all of that, because we're heading into the winter months, I don't know how much maintenance you would need or if you want to keep your bird feeder going during the winter, but 382-4280 if you want to talk to Gary about bird feeders or whatever.
So bird feeders are actually fun in the wintertime because it's some cheap, I look at it as some very cheap, inexpensive entertainment.
Okay.
Keep those feeders full, watching the birds. You may get that occasional squirrel in there, and there's food for squirrels, and we actually have a fantastic bungee cord feeder for squirrels, so actually get some extra entertainment. There's a little wheel you can put food on. Try to make it a challenge for the squirrels. Sometimes you just got to grit your teeth, and the squirrels are animals too. They're looking for food. Maybe use some of that bird food additive to keep the squirrels away. Has a combination of several different hot pepper chemicals in there. Some natural. The birds don't have much taste or smell, but it'll keep the squirrels away. Get lots of squirrels. You want lots of those cardinals and birds like the sunflower and that. Safflower works fantastic. Most of the birds that eat sunflower will eat safflower, and squirrels don't typically like safflower. Apparently, there's something a little different with the taste. Something to maybe keep some of those squirrels off the feeder. But it's fun to watch their antics trying to get to a feeder, too.
80373 if you want to text your question into Gary this morning, or you can call here at 382-4280. Anything nature can be discussed here.
So if you're looking for a go-to food for birds and to feed the most variety of birds, black oil sunflower is hard to beat. Most birds will eat that. Either you can get the dehulled, so you just have the sunflower hearts. or you can get just the black oil with the hulls on. Some people don't like those hulls in the yard. I actually, in my feeder, I mix a mix. We have an elite mix at Wedel's that actually has over 40% sunflower in it. Plus, it has a little bit of millet in it, and a little bit of canary seed. Not much. There's a few of the ground birds in that eat canary seed. A few birds, but not a whole lot. But mostly sunflower. And then I actually mix that 50% with 50% of just black oil sunflower. So I have mostly sunflower. I have a farmyard, so I don't mind the hulls. I usually don't have much of a hull debris underneath my feeders. Even with all those hulls there, the birds tend to, at least enough of the birds, like the chickadees and that, nuthatches tend to carry it away and tuck it under some bark or piece of bark or so I don't get the hulls all around the bird feeder. I guess I get a few there, but not a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if you have that bird feeder in a location where you don't want any hulls, we've got dehulled sunflowers. You got sunflower hearts, sunflower pieces. So you can get just solely a type of food for the birds. We've got millet. We got thistle. Thistle is really important for those finches and those finch-like birds because they like eating that small seed. If you've let that occasional weed go by and grow up, the goldenrod, sometimes with a native plant and all those different varieties or species of goldenrod, the finches will eat the seed on that if you leave those seed heads stay. That's true of a lot of flowers, even those flowers in your landscape bed. They will eat if you let that occasional thistle go, that just for the looks of it, and leave that seed up there, the birds will clean that out pretty fast. Might get an occasional thistle come up, but that's actually part of the challenge, I guess.
Okay.
And you've got different feeders for those different birds. So thistle seed's very small, so typically you want to have a feeder that is specifically for thistle, and so that seed just doesn't drop out everywhere. It's important to clean up any of that seed that does fall on the ground and sits there for a while, and those ground-feeding birds have not cleaned up. Clean that seed up because you will start attracting some of those unwanted critters, i.e. maybe some mice and that, maybe some other critters, and they will clean that up, but then they're going to hang around the feeder too because it's an easy food source. And so that, if you use that bird feed mix or bird feed that is solely for those birds, those songbirds primarily, you're not going to have a lot of wastage and wasted seed on the ground in that because they've got the seed and food that they want. And like I said, sunflower is a big one. Thistle. You get some of the woodpecker species like to have some nuts. There's a few other birds, blue jays in that, some tree nuts, peanuts. You can get sometimes dried fruit, so dried cranberry. Some of the mixes have raisins in. And you want to use food for those birds if you're doing something like that, or even the wildlife feeds. Make sure you get food or wildlife food or bird food that is specifically for birds or wildlife. You can't just buy our raisins in the grocery store and just toss them out there for the birds, because sometimes they may be treated a little bit that the birds may not, at least to preserve with a preservative, and the birds may not like that on there. It may affect them very drastically. Yeah. So, and it's true of like peanut butter too. So like usually a lot of times see peanut or peanut butter suet cakes, and they love that energy from the peanut, the oil in the peanut. And the suet both give them a lot of energy when it gets really cold out. But you don't want to use just a peanut butter typically that's off the grocery shelf. You want to use a peanut butter that's made specifically for wildlife and birds. Okay. They don't have all those extra additives in there.
There you go. I'm going to change up a little bit because with us being past peak now as far as the fall colors go, that just came and went in a New York minute.
Yeah, so I was watching it come down the state, and it was like, it's coming, here it's gone.
That's it, yeah, exactly.
So it went, there's still a lot of fantastic color out there, but the winds this week just really took the leaves down. So
hopefully everything stays calm this weekend so you can get out after you go to the Bronco homecoming football game maybe, and tomorrow you get to go take a drive.
Yeah, it looks like it's
before the Lions
some
game.
Color.
Yeah.
And nice seeing the sunshine out there too. We've had so much sunshine this month. I know one and a half days that we had so much cloud here, it was just mostly cloudy all day. It seemed really dreary and dark, and it was.
And that's our normal in this time of
Yes,
year.
it is. And I'm hoping the sun sticks around at least once in a while. In the wintertime, it always seems like it's so dark, and the sun seems to disappear in the wintertime.
Oh yeah, I have a friend of mine who suffers from depression during the winter because of the lack of sunshine.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people.
And she even has a little unit set up across the house that mimic the sun. So I get it.
So we're a little chilly today, and that frost, pretty good frost. And we actually a couple times this week we had frost. Looks like the next couple mornings we may have some frost also. It's that time of year. It's nice to get some of those plants start getting a chance to go totally dormant and take a rest for the season. They've had a really long growing year, and we started getting warm in February and March, and those plants are just tired, so they're ready for a break too. So if there's any consolation and you think it's cold out there this morning, enjoy the temperatures because it's very warm. I was looking last night and I thought, well, I'm going to look this morning too. The cold temperature in Canada right now at Old Crow in the Yukon Territory is minus 21 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Minus 21. That's not a wind chill. That is a temperature.
Get out. Get out.
So, relatively, 30, 34, 36 degrees seems really warm right now.
That's a little, oof. I don't know if we're going to have any real severe cold outbreaks. It's possible.
Yeah, with the prediction the Weather Service has had for the winter, it looks like it's going to be fairly normal temperatures, seasonal temperatures. Looks like the precipitation is going to be more than usual, which is, despite having to shovel it and it's not fun driving in, we need that moisture.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll time right so it just sort of comes down. It's cold enough so it's sort of on the drier side, so it blows off the roads. You don't have to worry about icy roads and don't have to shovel much of it either. Maybe.
Sometimes I have to remember, don't hate the messenger, but it's kind of the way it is.
Yeah, well, weather changes. Just, if you don't like the weather, wait a while. It's going to get to some weather condition you like. So,
well, of course.
And Michigan, it seems to do it more frequently than other places. I think a lot of places say that though. Just wait a little while, and the weather will change. So it's it's coming. We know that, but it's it'd be nice to have some moisture, but nice seeing that sunshine too. Oh my goodness, that just makes a big world of difference. I think I always have more energy when I have that sun shining, and instead of having that very dark, cold, dreary, cloudy days. And my arthritis likes it when it's not cold and damp. But we do need that moisture. Very, very dry. We're still in that pretty well dry or drought condition in almost the entire state of Michigan, except for that little pocket over by Muskegon. Yeah. Still,
I could see some fire danger alerts going up over the next week or so.
Well, especially if we get some winds. It looks like we may have some winds occasionally here and there. Some of the days look fairly calm, but other days it might be a little breezy. And it doesn't take much wind, and by gosh, if you get a fire started, it goes fast.
Right.
And you ever seen any of those videos on forest fires and that? Those fires can move faster than you can move.
Just a few minutes left here, by the way, 382-4280.
So either everybody's out there amazed that they missed the question, the trivia question, or they're just drinking their first cup of coffee and trying to wake up. But love to hear from folks. I hear a lot of folks that stop in the store and say they enjoy the show, have some emails, but love to have you call in or text in, and try to quiz me sometimes too. I don't know everything. I get a chance to learn sometimes along with you, so it's fun.
And you're there today, right?
I am. Yeah. And, it's actually thinking about this is the last Saturday in October. So next weekend, we're into November already.
Okay. Thank you.
Saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, the summer fan,
the guy in the jolly guy with the red suit's going to be coming around soon, so just saying.
Gee, I wonder who might wear that in the Wedel's building. Anyway.
I don't know. I've heard there's some guy that shows up once in a while out there, so we'll see.
Well, if you want to talk to Santa early, you only have a couple of minutes, 382-4280.
So I've seen a lot of turkeys this week, too. That was actually another bird that I've seen. And interestingly enough, in quite a few people's yards, not so much eating at a bird feeder, but just sort of wandering through the yard and picking out some food here and there around the yard. So a lot of turkey around right now. I've had to wait for some to cross the road occasionally. I must be the chicken's relative. Why did the turkey cross the road? Jim's rolling his eyes now. I did have to slow down for some deer again this morning. Those deer are everywhere.
Oh, they are. I just see them, the after effect on the side of the roads is just nuts.
The body shops are staying busy.
No kidding.
Very, very busy. Too busy, at least from
Right.
deer collisions.
Right.
Need to have that deer population thinned out just for the health of the deer, along for a safety factor. So
Right. Now, I have never shot a gun. I can't shoot Bambi, but we need the hunters out to help thin the herd out. Plus, I do like venison.
So actually, in this part of the states, like lean beef, I used to hunt. When I messed my knee up quite a few years ago, it became a point where it was not fun for me anymore. And I guess I'm just too much of a purist. When I hunt, I can't put myself in a heated blind.
And we are close to hunting season too.
Yes, yeah.
It's just a couple
bow season's been going on,
Yeah,
and
right.
The gun season will be coming up soon. So make sure those hunters have a chance. If some hunters, make sure they have a chance to get out and do some hunting, because they're going to benefit all of us. Cutting down on some of the deer populations, we may not hit them with our vehicle, or they're eating our plants and our landscape. And it's going to help the deer population as a whole, because when you get numbers as big as they are right now, they have more potential of getting diseases, and
Right.
just overall health is not good.
There you go. Okay, well, we're going to put another wrap on another Nature Watch, and Gary's in store today, so go see him. Anything big going on?
Getting ready for the wild bird event.
Yeah.
So still great time to plant. So if you're looking for some plants, to get maybe some food plants for the birds out there with some berries holding on to winter, come out and check out, see what we've got. We've got some fantastic plants that have seeds on them too, that you can plant some of the perennials on that.
Okay.
Good planting. Now's a great time to plant.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you for listening to this edition of Nature Watch. Tune in each Saturday at 8:30 for Nature Watch, brought to you by Wedel's Nursery, Floral, Garden, and Bird Center at the corner of 12th Street and Millam Road. American Outdoors Radio is next on 590 and 106.9 FM WKZO.